everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before we begin, I want you to imagine something uncomfortable. Imagine there's a woman in your life, someone who looks at you a little longer than necessary, someone who remembers small details about you that even your closest friends forget, someone whose energy changes the moment you walk into the room, and yet, she keeps her distance. That confusion you feel, it's not in your head. But before we go deeper, take 1 second to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because what you're about to hear isn't surface-level dating advice. These are psychological patterns most men never learn to recognize. Now listen carefully. One of the most misunderstood truths about female psychology is this: love does not always look like confidence. Sometimes love looks like hesitation. Sometimes it looks like distance. Sometimes it even looks like mixed signals. Why? Because when a woman truly cares, the emotional risk becomes terrifying. You see, attraction is easy, flirting is easy, casual interest is easy, but real emotional investment, that's where fear begins. A woman who feels deeply can suddenly become cautious, guarded, and strangely unpredictable. And that's where most men make a huge mistake. They assume her hesitation means disinterest, but in reality, hesitation can mean the opposite. When a woman feels something powerful for you, her mind begins running silent calculations. What if he rejects me? What if I care more than he does? What if this destroys my peace? Those questions create emotional tension inside her, and that tension leaks out through subtle behaviors. Not dramatic gestures, not movie-style confessions, subtle signals. Signals most men completely overlook. As a psychologist, I've watched this pattern repeat thousands of times. A woman feels strongly for a man, but instead of leaning in confidently, she pulls back just enough to protect herself. It's not manipulation, it's emotional self-defense. And if you don't understand this dynamic, you might walk away from a woman who secretly cares about you far more than she ever admitted. So tonight, I want to show you the quiet signals, the behaviors that reveal when a woman is in love with you, but afraid to expose that vulnerability. Because once you understand these patterns, you stop misreading hesitation as rejection. You begin seeing what's actually happening beneath the surface. And the first sign is far more subtle than most men realize. The first sign a woman may be in love with you but afraid to show it is something most men misinterpret completely. She becomes strangely careful around you. Not cold, not distant, careful. Watch how she speaks when you're present. Her words become slightly more thoughtful. She chooses them more slowly, as if she's filtering everything through an invisible emotional barrier. That's not indifference, that's emotional awareness. When a woman feels nothing for you, she's relaxed. She laughs freely, teases casually, and doesn't think twice about how she appears. But when deeper feelings start forming, something shifts in her mind. Suddenly, your opinion matters, more than she wants it to. And when your opinion matters, every interaction starts carrying emotional weight. She notices the way you react to her jokes. She wonders if you approved of what she said. She replays conversations later in her mind, questioning small details that most people would forget within minutes. This is the quiet anxiety of hidden affection. And many men completely miss it. They see her restraint and assume she's uninterested. They see her hesitation and think she's unsure about them. But what they're actually witnessing is a woman protecting feelings she isn't ready to expose. Now here's the second sign, and it's even more revealing. She creates small, almost accidental moments with you. Not obvious dates, not dramatic invitations, just little opportunities for connection. Maybe she asks you a random question that didn't really need to be asked. Maybe she sends you something that reminded her of you. Maybe she finds subtle reasons to stay in the same conversation just a little longer. These moments seem casual on the surface, but psychologically they're extremely intentional. You see, when a woman is scared of revealing her emotions, she doesn't chase openly. Instead, she builds tiny bridges, moments that allow closeness without risking direct rejection. Think of it like emotional testing. Each small interaction gives her information, how you respond, whether you lean in or pull away, whether your energy welcomes her presence or quietly pushes her back. She's studying the emotional temperature between you, not in a manipulative way, in a protective way, because when someone begins to matter to her, vulnerability suddenly feels dangerous. So instead of stepping forward boldly, she inches closer through subtle moments that feel almost invisible. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss the meaning behind them entirely. But the next sign is where things become much more obvious, once you know what to look for. Because when a woman is secretly in love with you, her emotions begin leaking out in ways she can't fully control. The next sign is one that terrifies most men when they finally notice it, but it's also one of the clearest indicators that she's in love with you, but afraid to show it. She mirrors you, not in a creepy, obvious way, but in subtle, almost imperceptible ways. The way you sit, the tone of your voice, your gestures, even the small phrases you use. She starts reflecting them back to you without realizing it. This is not imitation, this is subconscious attunement. Her mind is saying, I want to connect, I want to be seen, but I'm scared to push too far. Why is this important? Because mirroring is one of the deepest, most instinctual signs of attraction. It's her brain creating a bridge between her inner world and yours, without risking outright vulnerability. And most men either ignore it or mistake it for coincidence. You might notice it when she laughs slightly after you do, even if your joke wasn't that funny. Or when she adopts your phrases in conversation. Perhaps she sits in a similar posture during a meeting or subtly matches your energy when you're excited. These are emotional breadcrumbs. She is showing without words that she's paying attention and that your presence affects her more than she's ready to admit. The fourth sign is her emotional reactions. When a woman is in love but afraid, her emotions often leak in ways she can't fully control. A slight blush, a sudden shiver when you touch her arm, or a quick smile when she catches your gaze. These micro-reactions are honest signals from the body. They bypass her conscious mind because the heart is already invested, even if her mind is still hesitant. Here's the tricky part. Most men dismiss these subtle signs as random or meaningless. They see the blush and think it's embarrassment. They see the fleeting smile and assume it's politeness. But if you learn to recognize patterns, you start connecting the dots. Because a woman in love but scared doesn't shout it. She whispers it in gestures, in timing, in moments you might otherwise consider ordinary. And those who are emotionally intelligent enough to notice these cues are the ones who understand her heart before she ever admits it. And this is where many men get it wrong. They want drama, confession, or certainty, but real emotional depth is rarely loud. It's quiet, cautious, and deliberate. The next sign moves from the subtle body language into the realm of words, and it's where hesitation meets intention. It's where her fear begins to battle her desire, and where you can truly tell what's inside her heart. The fifth sign is hidden in the words she doesn't say, the pauses between sentences, and the way she frames her thoughts around you. This is where fear and affection collide in a way most men completely misread. She asks questions, not random ones, but personal ones that probe your mind, your values, your feelings, without ever directly exposing her own. What do you think about? How would you handle? These questions aren't casual curiosity. They're her way of stepping into your world while keeping her own heart safely guarded. She wants connection, but vulnerability terrifies her. Notice the hesitation before she speaks about herself. She may give short answers about her life or feelings, carefully avoiding topics that could reveal too much. But if you pay attention, you'll see subtle cracks, slight disclosures, fleeting confessions, or a story she quickly brushes off. These are her test signals. She's revealing pieces of herself slowly, gauging whether it's safe to let you in further. Her texts or messages often reflect the same pattern. They may be sporadic, inconsistent, even confusing at times. Don't mistake this for disinterest. Behind that irregularity is a complex interplay of desire and fear. She wants to reach out, but she's terrified of how much showing up might cost her emotionally. And the more she cares, the stronger that fear becomes. Another way this manifests is through subtle compliments, small acknowledgements that reveal her admiration without requiring her to fully declare it. You always know how to handle that. That was really impressive. These statements are her way of signaling her feelings while keeping control. They are carefully measured, emotionally loaded gifts wrapped in caution. Now here's the psychological trap most men fall into. When a woman does this, they either overanalyze or write her off entirely. But what you need to understand is that these patterns are incredibly intentional. Fear doesn't eliminate affection, it disguises it. A woman who loves you but is afraid of exposure will dance around her emotions, allowing you glimpses while keeping her heart protected. And there's one final sign that often overwhelms men when they recognize it. A sign that's louder than subtle gestures, more telling than unspoken words. It's the one that separates casual interest from genuine love tangled with fear. It's where the hidden heart finally speaks, even if she's still terrified of being fully vulnerable. The next section will reveal this last sign and how it ties all the previous signals together into a pattern that's impossible to ignore once you know what to look for. The sixth and final sign is the most powerful, and the one most men completely miss. It's her energy around you, the invisible gravity that pulls her toward you even when she tries to resist. You feel it in subtle ways, a lingering glance, a body that leans slightly closer, a presence that seems to orbit yours without words. This isn't coincidence, it's attraction wrestling with fear. When a woman is in love but scared, she often struggles between two impulses, the desire to be close and the instinct to protect herself. You might notice her hesitating before touching you, only to brush your hand lightly. Or a sudden shyness after making eye contact, as if she's afraid of revealing too much. These micro-moments are honest signals of deep affection held back by self-preservation. Her moods may fluctuate in ways that seem confusing to the untrained eye. Sometimes she's warm, playful and engaged. Other times, distant and guarded. This isn't inconsistency, it's fear. She's testing the emotional waters, trying to see if the connection is safe enough to fully dive in. Every withdrawal is a measure of self-protection, not a reflection of her feelings for you. Another indicator is her willingness to invest quietly in your happiness. She remembers your little preferences, notices when something makes you smile, and subtly makes adjustments just for you. She may not openly say, "I care," but every thoughtful action, every small consideration is a hidden declaration of love. She's showing devotion in ways she hopes won't expose her vulnerability. The key to understanding her heart is recognizing the pattern. Careful attention, small intentional moments, mirroring, micro-reactions, probing questions, and finally, the pull of her energy toward you despite her fear. When you see these 6 signs together, it's impossible to ignore the truth. She is in love with you, but she's terrified of fully admitting it, sometimes even to herself. Most men miss this because they expect love to be dramatic and bold. But real emotional depth often speaks quietly. It whispers through gestures, timing, and subtlety. And once you learn to read these signals, you gain the ability to recognize the women who truly care, even when they seem hesitant or distant. Understanding this changes everything. Instead of misreading hesitation as rejection, you learn to respond with patience, awareness, and emotional intelligence. You start seeing love in places others overlook, and you begin to understand the psychology behind fear and affection, a combination that is far more powerful than any surface-level attraction. The final section will reveal how to respond to these signs, how to connect deeply without triggering her fear, and how to become the man who sees love where others see hesitation. Now that you understand the 6 hidden signs, a woman's careful attention, her small intentional moments, subtle mirroring, micro-reactions, probing questions, and the magnetic energy she can't suppress, the real question becomes, what do you do with this knowledge? How do you respond in a way that draws her closer instead of pushing her further away? The answer is patience, emotional patience. Many men make the mistake of reacting too quickly, pressing for clarity, demanding commitment, or expecting her to act boldly. When a woman is in love but scared, that pressure triggers her fear. Her instinct isn't to pull closer, it's to retreat, sometimes silently. sometimes in ways you might misinterpret as disinterest. Instead, lean into calm confidence. Be consistent, attentive, and emotionally available without being overbearing. Notice her subtle signals and acknowledge them, even mentally, but don't force the moment. Smile when she mirrors your gestures, laugh with her when she tests your energy, and gently encourage her to share without demanding it. This teaches her that vulnerability is safe with you, that opening her heart won't lead to judgment or rejection. Another powerful strategy is reciprocity, but subtle. Reveal small pieces of your own heart, your thoughts, your values, in ways that invite her into your world without cornering her. Let your emotions speak through actions and energy, not just words. A confident man becomes a safe space, and when she recognizes that, her fear slowly softens. She starts leaning in, not abruptly but gradually, allowing the affection she's been hiding to surface naturally. Always remember, what she fears most isn't loving you. It's the possibility of being hurt or misunderstood. Every hesitant glance, every small gesture, every micro-reaction is a test of safety. Your job isn't to fix her fear or push her forward, it's to hold steady while she navigates it. Eventually, the walls she's built begin to crumble, not because of grand declarations or manipulation, but because she experiences your presence as trustworthy. When she finally allows herself to show love openly, it's deeper, more sincere, and far more meaningful than the surface-level romance most men encounter. So pay attention. Observe the whispers beneath the words. Learn the language of subtlety, hesitation, and protective affection. A woman in love but afraid to show it is giving you a rare opportunity, the chance to witness authentic vulnerability before it becomes obvious. Most men never see it. Most men never get it, but now you do. And that changes everything. Because the men who understand these patterns aren't just dating, they're connecting on a level that most people will never reach. And that, ultimately, is how you become unforgettable in her heart.